Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Good morning, everyone. Today is July 20th, and the moon is still in Aries. It does shift today at 2:24 p.m., so mid-afternoon. It moves into Taurus. But not before it makes a sextile to Saturn, and a square to Pluto. And then right after the square to Pluto, it makes a square to the Sun, which is the last quarter crisis and consciousness square. What's significant about that is that Pluto and the Sun and the Moon create a T-square with this last quarter moon. Very, very tight at around 28 degrees of Capricorn. That is, Pluto, of course, is conjunct the United States Pluto. The moon in Aries is close to Eris, the goddess of discord. And then, of course, we have the sun in Cancer. So this is actually a very tense aspect, and one that requires us to evaluate what needs to change, and how we go about making that change. We also have two semi-squares today, one from Mars to Neptune. That occurs very early in the morning. Mars is in Aries still, right? Mars is in Aries. Right. It hasn't moved into Taurus yet. Making a semi-square to Neptune. And then towards the end of the day, we have Venus making a semi-square to Uranus. Without getting too into what, the details of that per se, I find it interesting that the two planets that are associated with how we relate to one another, Venus and Mars, are being touched by two transpersonal planets in such a way that we're taking that transpersonal energy and instituting it in a way to how we relate to one another. It's like we're bringing this higher vibrational frequency into the way we relate. And those higher vibrational frequencies of Uranus and Neptune bring in just a higher vision and a more unusual vision, and one in which separation is less obvious, and there's a certain amount of unity that comes with that. But it is subtle and it's not overt. And because we're dealing with these transpersonal planets, for some it may be actually kind of confusing. We have a couple of new flowers today. Of course, we've seen these before. And now our tiger lilies are coming down. Either birds are a little bit distressed because Sir Charlie snuck out with me this morning, and I don't exactly know where he is. Last time I saw him, he was moving into the office, so he might still be there. But yeah, they're yelling because he's around. He's such a rascal. But I didn't chase after him. It's cool right now, and it's probably going to be the only time of the day that it is cool. So I figured it's best for both of us to be out here. Oh boy, it's been hot here. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, because there are many of you who have been hot way longer than me, but it's never a good thing when I'm hot. Just never has been. Even when I was young, I couldn't tolerate the heat. But honeysuckle, it does smell nice out here, I have to say. And it feels good for as long as it's going to feel good. But we're going to have another hot one today. So stay hydrated, everyone. Stay cool. Don't go in the direct sun. It's just too effing hot. Woo, did I say that? All right, guys. Well, it's going to be an interesting day, a tense day. Of course, the 8th, January 6th hearing is happening tomorrow night. Yesterday I was talking about Pluto and Mercury and Pluto and the Sun. We actually had that Pluto opposition to the Sun last night. So that is still sort of tension, and then the moon sort of comes up and adds to the tension. So people who are in power are being held accountable, certainly to what they did. Now, ultimately, how they remain accountable is another story. We don't know yet. But just what I would say is, in times like this, the best thing that you can do is concentrate on the things you do have control over. Live the best life that you can. Invest in time and money, maybe, in the things that are important to you, which includes, political action and things like that. That's all okay. That's all well and good. But we do have power, and one thing we have to remember is our greatest power is the power of how we utilize the energy that's available to us. And we all have energy available to us. And if we spend it worrying about things that are out of our control, that sort of takes things away from us. So I think positive expectation goes a long way, but not being attached to outcome is probably the healthiest thing to do. So in the direction, and then if things don't work out the way you want them to, it's time to step back. And we get upset. I mean, we're all human, right? But we have to figure out a way to accept what we can't change and change what we can. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful day. Like and subscribe, and I will see you again tomorrow. Stay cool, everyone. Namaste.